Let's be honest, about 90% of AI character generators out there are completely busted, and the companies selling them definitely know it. Have you ever meticulously crafted the perfect character vibe, only to get a complete stranger when you try generating that crucial second shot? One minute you nail the face, the outfit, and the lighting just right, and the next minute you have a different jawline, mismatched eyes, and a totally changed mood. It is absolutely maddening when you realize that you aren't always messing up the prompt or overcomplicating the instructions. The real issue most creators totally miss is that these tools weren't actually built for long-term, reusable characters and storytelling. They are optimized for generating single, pretty, scroll-stopping images, not reliable assets you can drop into a comic or a short film. Last year, I literally spent hours every single night attempting to make one character look consistent across different poses and scenes. I burned through credits, bounced between half a dozen different style prompts, and ended up with folders labeled only for maybe usable if cropped. It sounds funny until you are the person living inside those endless folders, stressing over every single generation. Everything changed the moment I stopped blaming myself and started rigorously testing the tools instead of endlessly tweaking my text prompts. My mission became finding which platforms actually deliver those consistent characters without demanding 20 reference images or 50 tweaks. So today, I'm walking you through the exact kinds of tools that actually work right now and explaining precisely why they succeed where others fail. I rigorously tested the 4 most popular options and ranked them on 5 core criteria that genuinely matter for any serious creator. Those categories are character consistency, training requirement, output quality, available add-ons, and finally, the overall price structure. Consistency is the absolute biggest one, earning 30 points, because if your face changes in every single shot, nothing else even matters. The training requirement is set at 20 points. Nobody wants to upload 50 photos just to get one barely usable result from the start. Output quality also carries 20 points because even a consistent image needs to look finished, clean, and professional when it leaves the generator. Add-ons like pose control, expression replacement, and animation capabilities are worth 20 points since they turn stills into actual scenes. Finally, price gets 10 points, which is smaller, but still important, especially when you are testing new workflows weekly. First up, let's talk about MidJourney, which if you've used AI for more than 10 minutes, you have definitely already encountered. It is absolutely insane at creating moody, gallery-ready images that immediately stop people from scrolling past your content. The core problem, however, is that it simply isn't built to remember one specific character across an entire library of shots. If you drop in a reference image and prompt it correctly, you will often get something that looks close but never quite identical. You try to switch the lighting or the pose, and instantly that carefully crafted character seems to mutate into someone new. On the crucial consistency metric, I had to give MidJourney a conservative 19 out of 30 points overall. It looks undeniably gorgeous when it hits, but you are forced to babysit every single generation if you want any chance of sameness. For the training requirement, it scores an 11 out of 20 because there's virtually no character training workflow, relying entirely on prompt engineering. Output quality, as expected, absolutely slaps, earning a 17 out of 20 for its cinematic lighting, depth, and rich textures. Features-wise, it remains quite sparse, no real built-in pose control, no dedicated face editing workflow, and no easy expression swaps. This functionality gap meant it only scored a 6 out of 20, and the price also loses points because you burn credits rapidly trying to force consistency. The final MidJourney score lands at 59 out of 100. Great for a single concept, but terrible for reproducible characters. Next up is a tool I'll call Design, one of those platforms many people scroll right past because it doesn't get hyped on every single feed. But for creators who actually need usable outputs without losing their sanity, this platform is surprisingly solid and reliable. Once you complete its consistency setup, uploading a handful of images and tagging what needs to stay the same, the character actually holds identity. Expressions can change, poses can shift, and yet the core identity remains locked in place across all generations. It struggles a bit if you push extreme stylization, but for clean, grounded content meant for real-world use, it is highly dependable. Consistency here is much better, earning a strong 24 out of 30 points in my testing environment. Training is straightforward but not instant. Expect a 20 to 30 minute setup window, which definitely kills the initial momentum a bit, netting 13 out of 20. Output quality is clean and polished, though maybe not as overly artsy as MidJourney, securing a practical 17 out of 20. Features are superior to MidJourney, offering a basic editor, facial tweaks, and even short video clip generation for quick motion pieces. However, pose control remains somewhat limited, leading to a feature score of 15 out of 20 for this platform. The price is where design really flexes its muscle, offering a low-cost starter plan or even a free tier with daily credits, giving it an 8 out of 10. The total score for design comes to 77 out of 100. Not flashy, but incredibly usable for consistent creators. Then we have Scenario, which feels much more like a pro-level platform, perhaps something a dedicated studio would use for asset creation. With a proper training set, usually 5 to 15 clean images from a few angles, it delivers highly structured and dependable results every time. It isn't the most flexible tool available, but its outputs are disciplined, giving you exactly what you asked for, no more and no less. Scenario earned a 23 out of 30 for consistency because its structured approach keeps the identity solid. Training is more involved than the average tool, requiring more setup than other options, so it scored 13 out of 20 points. The output quality sits in a safe middle ground, clean and serviceable, though lacking that deeply cinematic flair of MidJourney, scoring 15 out of 20. Where Scenario truly shines is in granular control, excellent pose references, fine facial tweaks, and pixel-level tooling for still images. However, the lack of a built-in video editor or easy post-processing pushes its feature score down to 13 out of 20 points. Price is a major hurdle here, as there is no free tier, pushing monthly costs into the $36 to $45 range, resulting in only a 3 out of 10. Scenario's final score is 67 out of 100, a good choice for pros who demand control, but maybe too slow for fast iterating creators. And then we arrive at OpenArt, the one platform that actually solved the identity consistency issue across all my tests. You just drop in one reference image, and this tool nails the identity across lighting changes, new angles, and even full outfit swaps. You don't need to chain complex prompts together or pray for a lucky miracle run like you do with older models. Training is almost non-existent. One solid image gets you extremely close, and adding just 2 or 3 more significantly improves the fidelity. It achieves near-perfect consistency, netting an incredible 29 out of 30 points in that critical category. Output quality is fantastic across every style tested, with high-resolution exports and excellent management of light and shadow, earning 19 out of 20. Features are where OpenArt truly becomes a creator's complete playground, offering 3D pose rigs, expression replacement, and even image-to-video options. These advanced capabilities push the features score to an almost perfect 19 out of 20 points for creative flexibility. Price-wise, it is sensible, offering a free trial and a starter plan around $14 per month, securing a strong 8 out of 10. OpenArt wins my tests hands down with a massive final score of 95 out of 100 points for image consistency. So if OpenArt is this good for static character consistency, why aren't most creators already using it for all their content? The short answer is simple momentum. Most people still believe that AI character generation remains clunky and frustrating from past experiences. The models have become much sharper and faster in the last year, and platforms are finally giving creators tools that don't require babysitting every single output. But here is the crucial thing. For video creators, those amazing image tools only solve one half of the overall content problem. You don't just need one consistent character image, you need to turn long-form footage into short, reusable clips where that character stays recognizable and perfectly on brand. You need those clips automatically scheduled, distributed across platforms, and neatly organized within a functional content calendar. The excellent image tools solve the same face in different poses dilemma, but they completely ignore the next massive hurdle, the workflow problem. The workflow problem is this: how do you extract the best moments from your long videos? Format them for every platform and schedule them without manually managing everything? Enter Vizard, and I promise this is not meant to sound like a cheap advertisement, but it solves that next level problem that image tools simply ignore. Think about what you truly want. Film a long tutorial or interview and instantly get a system that finds the viral moments for you automatically. It should auto-edit those moments into platform-ready clips and push them out on a schedule so you never have to babysit the posting flow again. Here is what Vizard actually does and why it matters. Alongside the image generators we just ranked for consistency. First, it auto-edits viral clips by scanning your long video and intelligently selecting the absolute key shareable moments for maximum impact. It then cuts, formats, and even captions those segments so you get ready to post clips without spending hours inside a complicated editing suite. Imagine pairing OpenArt's consistent characters with Vizard's ability to turn an hour-long interview into a dozen tight, character-driven shorts. That's how you scale. Second, Vizard handles auto-scheduling by letting you set the frequency, allowing the AI to queue and publish clips automatically based on best times. This step is vital because consistency on social platforms is often more important than achieving absolute perfection in every single piece. Third, you get a centralized content calendar to manage, tweak, and publish clips across all your socials from one organized location. This prevents you from bouncing between 5 different apps and ensures your consistent characters are reused efficiently across all scheduled content. I am absolutely not suggesting Vizard replaces OpenArt or MidJourney. They simply solve separate, critical pieces of the creative pipeline. What Vizard does is take your finalized visual assets and make them into high-performing content that runs entirely on autopilot without your input. It's the fundamental difference between making one pretty image and running a sustainable, repeatable content machine that grows your audience. Circling back to the tools, if you only need one stunning static hero shot for a thumbnail, MidJourney still delivers the best eye-grabbing visuals. If you want practical, usable character models you can tweak and even introduce a little motion into, design and scenario are both solid backups. But for the absolute fastest, most consistent character images that play nicely across multiple scenes, OpenArt remains the current reigning champion. However, for turning those incredible consistent assets into high-volume short-form content, Vizard is the absolutely essential missing link in the chain. It's not about replacing the image tools you love, it's about successfully plugging them into a powerful system that reliably gets your content out daily. The winning combo is using OpenArt to lock your character look and then feeding all your long videos into Vizard to extract, polish, schedule, and manage the entire output. That combined workflow is precisely how creators successfully transition from making one-off posts to running a true, reliable content engine. Here is the bottom line. If you are still fighting the endless prompt war, you are wasting valuable time and creative energy. If you desire repeatable characters and a workflow that churns out shorts without leading to creator burnout, treat image tools and video workflow as two halves of one necessary whole. The image tools give you the consistent character assets, and Vizard handles all the heavy lifting to turn your footage into a continuous stream of clips. I spent months testing every platform, scoring every output, and running reuse tests to find the best, but the real win is pairing consistency with an automated distribution workflow. That is where Vizard integrates perfectly, automating the time-consuming grunt work so you can actually focus on your best ideas and genuine personality. Ultimately, you have a clear choice. Keep living in that folder named maybe usable, if cropped, or build a scalable flow that guarantees growth. Go create your locked-down, consistent characters with the right image tool, then let Vizard handle the clipping, formatting, and scheduling automatically. This combo is the key difference between landing occasional viral hits and achieving sustainable, repeatable growth across your entire content library. Try the combo today. Lock down that perfect character look, then let the workflow handle the publishing so you stop wasting credits and start publishing more content. That is the definitive professional move for creators looking to scale their character-driven content without burning out. All right, that is the full breakdown on where AI character generation stands and how to integrate it into a functional video workflow. I have done all the intensive testing and scoring, so you can skip straight to building your scalable content system. Now it is officially your turn to take this framework and put it to work to build your own repeatable content machine.